Hi there. In our devotion today, I want to take you to the book of Daniel and look into some of the passages that talks about the sovereignty of God. God is sovereign, which means he rules over everything. He is the supreme ruler. And because God created everything, he is qualified to rule over everything. There are kings and kingdoms that appear in this world and disappeared. There are powerful emperors who came into the scene and gone. But God is everlasting, and because He lives forever, and He is the supreme ruler over everything. Even in the Old Testament, God revealed Himself as powerful God, as supreme ruler over everything. Starting with Genesis, you find that Abraham calls God, O sovereign God. So God revealed himself not only the powerful God who can do anything, but he is in charge of ruling over everything. Even today, he is the supreme ruler. He's going to be the supreme ruler forever. And he revealed that information to his people all through the Bible. If you look at the Bible, there are 303 times in the Bible the word sovereignty comes. So, sovereignty or sovereign God is powerful ruler over everything. When you read the Bible in the Old Testament, one of the book is Ezekiel. Prophet Ezekiel, if you read the whole book of Ezekiel, you will find he used the word sovereign so many times in his book. Ezekiel understood the power of God, his rulership over everything. Now, I want to take you to two passages in the book of Daniel just to meditate on the sovereignty of God. First one, you find it in the book of Daniel, chapter 4. This is King Nebuchadnezzar, who is the supreme ruler over the Babylonian kingdom. And this is what happened to him. Verse 28 says, All this happened to King Nebuchadnezzar 12 months later, as the king was walking on the roof of the royal palace of Babylon. He said, Is not this the great Babylon I have built as the royal residence by my might power and for the glory of my majesty? When he said that, well, the word was still on his lips when a voice came from heaven. This is what is decreed for you, King Nebuchadnezzar. Your royal authority has been taken from you. You will be driven away from people and will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass like cattle. 7 times will pass by for you until you acknowledge that the Most High is sovereign over the kingdoms of men and gives them to anyone he wishes. So God wants to reveal himself to Nebuchadnezzar because he thought he built everything with his mighty power and for his glory and for his majesty. And God had to reveal himself to him and say, No, it is me who is sovereign God. And in the end of this chapter, you will find that Nebuchadnezzar making a statement. He says, At the end of the time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes toward heaven, and my sanity was restored. Then I praised the Most High. I honored and glorified him who lives forever. This is what the powerful king Nebuchadnezzar did. He said his dominion is an eternal dominion. His kingdom endures from generation to generation. All the peoples of the earth are regarded as nothing. He does what he pleases with the powers of heaven and the peoples of the earth. No one can hold back his hand or say to him, What have you done? This is what Nebuchadnezzar said about the sovereignty of God. He recognized it after God did this to him. Now, If you turn to chapter 6, you will find that another king called King Darius, and he is understanding the power and the sovereignty of God. And then it says in verse 25, then King Darius wrote to all the people, nations, and men of every language throughout the land. May you prosper greatly. I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. Then he said this, he says, for he is the living God, and he endures forever, and his kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. So God proved again and again in the book of Daniel so many times to the powerful emperors, great kings, that he is the supreme ruler over everything. Today, he is still the supreme ruler over everything. He is on the hot seat. He is on the powerful seat, the throne, and he is seated on the throne, and all the angels in heaven are worshiping him. And he wants everyone in this world to worship him and honor him because he is sovereign Lord and he is in charge of everyone's life. Today, if you are wondering about who God is, the God we worship is sovereign. He rules over everything. So you can rely on him, you can trust in him because he cares. He is a sovereign, loving God. God bless you today.